And welcome to John's Metal Detecting Adventures. This evening it's guest time, and we have a wonderful guest from USA. I'm thinking it's USA. I'm positive it's from USA. Wayne from Stealth Diggers. I'm sure he's going to have some interesting stories and see what they're getting up to over there. Let's welcome Wayne and bring him in. Here we go. Hi, Wayne. Welcome.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, welcome, pal. So, what's the weather like over there?
Lots of snow.
Lots of
Shoveling,
snow.
shoveling.
Oh dear. No detecting. No detecting.
No, the ground was all clear, and then we got this random 8 inches of snow, and it's still going outside.
Oh dear. I think we're quite lucky in the UK because it's been 6 centigrade. We've had I think 2 days of snow in about 3 months, and it's just gone away. So we're quite lucky. Right. So when did you start detecting, Wayne? When did you start? How long ago?
Let's see here. I would have to say a little over 6 years ago. Originally, my father-in-law was into metal detecting before I was, and he kind of kept after me to try to get me to go out metal detect with him. So, I'm one of those people. When I hear about something that I might be interested in, I do lots of research. I watch lots of videos on beginner machines and how the hobby worked and stuff. And then I ended up saving up and getting my first machine, which was
What was your first machine, Wayne? Come on.
it was a Fisher F2.
Well, that's quite sophisticated piece of kit, isn't it? That really.
Yeah, it was actually really good. The only problem with the machine is as I started to enjoy the hobby, I started to outgrow it and needed more features, different things that, a little bit better technology to help me dig less junk, so to speak.
Yeah, yeah. What sort of size searcher did it come with then?
I believe it had an 8 inch, and it was the round ring with the hole in it,
Oh,
concentric, I
the
believe they
donut
call it.
one. Oh, yeah,
Yep.
the donut type. Yeah, yeah. It's still a good machine,
Oh,
Still a good machine.
definitely.
So, now, Stealth Diggers. How long have you been a member of this group, or when did you start it? How did it all come about?
Well, a friend of mine was friends with the people that are the main people of the channel, and I went out and dug with them a couple of times, and we all seemed to be like-minded and enjoyed the history. And I think now, roughly around 6 years, I've been digging with them.
Oh, and what kind of things have you guys been finding? Come on, tell us,
Oh,
spill the beans.
buttons, coins, shoe buckles. Let's see here. Every now and then we'll find pieces of jewelry, old farm tools, hand tools, spoons, lots of spoons,
Uh huh. Uh
two
huh.
pronged forks.
Uh huh. Uh huh. And what's any silver, any gold? Have you got anything with some sort of date and information? Have you got any stories around certain things that you found?
Yeah, we've actually found a few things. I'm sure you're familiar with the U.S. large cent, the 1802 version.
Yep,
So I had found what I thought was a U.S. large cent, but it was actually a counterfeit made out of pewter.
that's rare,
Yeah,
isn't it? No,
it's in
it's
pretty
quite
rough
rare.
shape. I mean, the back
Mm.
you can tell that it was fake because it's got that big line across it where they stamped it. So my guess was somebody was paying in the dark where nobody could see.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Well, I bet they produced a few of them, and I suppose it just depends where they're going to, hand them over to somebody that can't see very well or something like that.
Right,
So
unless it
yeah.
was something made up for a child, it was like play money like they have
Oh, I
nowadays.
see.
I mean, I don't know
Could
if
have
that's
been.
the
Yeah,
case,
yeah.
but it is rather
Yes.
intriguing.
Well, in our history going back, I mean, it was a major thing for fraudulent coins going around, gold, silver. I mean, it was big business. Even going back in time, what we call the hammered coins, because they
Oh,
were
yes, I've heard of those.
yeah, those hammered coins. Well, up to about 16th century, I think, or that period about. They were all after sort of 16. They were pressed out of a hand machine, so they're all
Right.
even. But before that, they were hand hammered out with a top die and a bottom die. And what
Oh,
they used
okay.
to do going back in time is that every so often people would snip a little bit of silver off, snip a bit more silver off the hammered pennies or various
Oh,
coins, and then hand it over to a fraudulent guy to make a penny and used to split it. That's went on quite a lot really. And so, unfortunately, quite a lot of unhammered are what we call cut. They're being sliced and diced. And to get one completely round and in perfect condition, believe it or not, is kind of rare. Kind of rare.
Oh, I
You do get
believe it.
them. You do get them. But sometimes it could be brilliant on one side, and then the other side, not so good quality. Or
Right.
vice versa, or quite a lot cut off, or they usually used to target the big hammered coins because there were quite a lot to cut off, So sometimes you get the big hammered coins with quite slices off, and it's a bit kind of disheartening in one sense, but still
Right.
holding the history in that period in your hand for what went off in that era,
Right.
What machine you got now then?
Right now, I'm using the Fisher F19.
All
I've been
right,
through
and
several machines over the course of detecting. I've tried the mid-range one. I've even gone up as high as the CTX 3030,
mm,
and I found for a while the Garrett AT Gold was my go-to.
oh,
It was just one of those machines that I understood. I knew what it was trying to tell me, and I did really well. And I stayed with that until we had one incident where my buddy Charlie, he was using the F19, and I got a target. I dug the plug, and the target was gone. And he swung over
oh,
it with the F19, and it was able to pick up a button a couple inches in the plug that my gold couldn't get.
oh,
So then we figured out that it was a difference in the frequency. The
yes,
19 kilohertz is, because we do mostly cellar hole hunting. So we're
uh-huh,
in the thick of the iron, all the nails, the
uh-huh,
sheet metal, the garbage people throw everywhere. And we
uh-huh.
go through there. It's like a minefield trying to pick out something, that's savable.
It's still the same over here, Wayne.
Oh, is it?
Full of junk.
Yep.
We don't show the junk. I was just explaining to our previous guest last week that we go through loads of trash to get to what we want.
Yep.
We're the trash gatherers. They're trash collectors. We do a good job for the planet.
That's right.
Just before we continue, I just want to say hello to a couple of people that have joined us. We've got Digger Dan Metal 13. Hiya, guy. You all right? And he says, hello, Wayne. It must know
Oh,
you.
hi, guys.
And Peter Connor. Hi, Pete, pal. What kind of sort of artifacts are sort of special to you that you find? If your different sort of like artifacts that you think, oh, yeah, some of your special ones.
A lot of it's oddball stuff, like unique buttons or weird things. Like I've got a couple things if you're interested
Yeah,
in
show
seeing.
us and give us some description and some information. That's what we
Okay.
want. Education.
All right. This one here is a state seal, and I'm pulling up a picture on my phone in case the lighting isn't good enough to see it. I came prepared with a flashlight just in case, but let's see if we can hold this up to the camera without.
Oh, yeah, that's it. Brilliant. Yeah, absolutely superb, that. If you tilt it to your light, and then that'll be a little bit clearer. Yeah. Is there any written information on that then?
Yeah, there is. It's Republica Neo Hanton, and it's got a crinkle where the other one is. But so I did the research, and it's a 1784 state seal of New Hampshire, which is the town in the state in U.S. that I'm at. And I'm going to put this up to the camera. This will show you what the actual seal looks like.
If you can. Oh yes, we can just about make it out. Just tilt it upwards or something. Or I'll tell you when it's okay. It's just blanking out a bit there. Yeah, we
There
can
we
just
go.
see some of it there. But that's quite a lot of information that way. That's brilliant. Isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Superb. So what was
So
it? What did they use it for then? Do you think?
I think it was probably attached to a trunk or something. It had to have
Oh,
been
I see.
something more than a common item.
Okay.
The state
Yeah.
seal, it could have came off of crates of things that were brought with horse and buggy or the covered wagons or whatnot to different places,
Oh, I see.
depending on the era.
Uh-huh.
But it's still mid to late 1700s, and because there is information on there, I'm able to look it up and find out what it was. I mean,
Yeah.
it's actually they named that seal after Portsmouth, New Hampshire, which was the first seaport in the
All
whole
right.
New England area.
What have you got anything else to show us then?
Oh yes, of course.
We're going
Every
to have a good roll of history here and
everybody
artifacts.
loves the Tomback buttons,
Oh,
1700s. This is probably one of my nicer ones. Let's see if I can get this to the
yeah,
camera.
I've got it in. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, it's a bit over to the yeah, that's it. You're over to your middle half, and have you got a light above them, Wayne? Is it your light above? That's fine. It's actually that's okay. We can just about see.
There
That's
we
perfect.
go.
Just
Now
leave it
you
like
can
that.
see it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
and what is that then? What age is that?
that's early 1700s,
Oh,
and those were big, probably coat buttons because they're big like that. Stuff like
yes.
that. And I,
I'm
I
being
got a couple of
nonchalant here.
oddball
I've dug
things
that
too.
many. I've dug that many, Wayne. I probably didn't realise what the arts and education for me is that. 17th century. I always thought they were 18, but that's good.
Right. And sometimes you find the oddball stuff. And
Yeah.
this is one of the things that it's not like a sought after coin or some fancy historic thing, but it's got the history to it that's
Mm,
interesting.
mm.
Um, so everybody's heard of the irons people iron their clothes with.
Yeah.
People
Oh,
used
yeah.
to set them on their, next to their fireplace. They'd get hot and they would steam their clothes.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah,
Well,
yeah.
this one's a little bit different. This one here is the iron, but on
Yeah.
the back, let's see if I can open it without. They used to
Oh.
fill it with coal and keep it hot so that they could iron their
Ah.
clothes with it. Now, it's still got a lot of dirt in there
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I didn't want to mess with it too much, but I'd
Yeah.
never seen anything like
No,
that
I've never seen
before.
anything like that because I've seen them that shape in like solid metal, but not where it opens up. Well, that's an education to find out why it opened up because I wouldn't have known.
Well,
Oh, yeah,
somebody told me that because I didn't
yeah,
know.
yeah,
To
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
thought it
yeah.
was just the bottom of an iron. And when
Mm.
we were looking it over, a
And
friend of
then you
mine
can see it
said,
open up.
he
Yeah.
said, the coal goes in there. That's what kept it hot. I'm like,
Ah.
oh, wow, I had no idea.
Yeah. Is that around about 18th century or early 19 or?
Yeah, early 1900s, I would
Yeah,
say.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah. Oh, okay.
probably end of 18, early 19. You
Okay.
know,
Yeah.
so I
Brilliant.
think
Okay.
they got to the point where they started to actually have the wood stoves inside their home sites. They used
Uh-huh.
to have one that was solid metal that just set on the stove, and they'd
Mm-hmm.
have to iron quickly or it would burn the clothing.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. 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 Okay. Right.
All
What else
right,
you got for us, Wayne?
and
Anything
everybody
else?
loves the sound of these, the croto bells
Oh yeah. I could. I just
calling
couldn't
up.
believe you guys were finding them.
Yeah, see this one here. I'm going to see if I can get it up to the camera, but
Oh yes.
it's
That's in beautiful
actually
condition, isn't it? And you found
it's
that in the USA?
yeah, it did. The RW on it stands for
Oh.
Robert Wells. Now,
Oh
him and his
right.
son had a company around the 1850s, and they
Mm.
manufactured the Crotobells. So this is the
Wow.
only one I've ever found with a maker's mark on it to be able to identify. So this
Yes,
one was
yes. A
re-
lot of our Crotobells are medieval, our
yeah.
ones, but that is in cracking condition. Obviously, with it being a bit later, it would be. And does it still ring?
Oh yeah, it's still got the dirt inside
It's
it
still
too,
got that dirt in.
but when you swing over it, it sounds like a pop can.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
loud, you
yeah,
know.
it's just
So you
loud, isn't
almost
it?
walk
Yeah,
by them.
yeah,
You're
yeah.
almost like, no,
Yeah,
I don't want to dig
do you
another
have
one.
like a number readout on yours then, Wayne?
Yeah, usually these read up, I would say probably in the high eight or probably 84,
Oh,
85.
right,
You
high
know,
numbers then, high
yeah,
numbers.
yeah, because
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
brass, so it really,
yeah,
really
yeah, yeah.
punches
Yeah,
the display numbers up.
every different machines, they have different displays, don't they?
Yeah, yeah,
So yeah,
yeah. Well, you notice like a lot of the mine labs, they have lower
yeah.
digit numbers like 12, 14, and you
Yeah,
know,
well, that'd have been 32 on mine, I think.
yep.
Believe it or not, that'd have been blow me head off one of those blow. It
Oh,
depends how
trust
it
me.
depends how deep it is, doesn't it? I suppose sometimes,
Yeah, I mean, some of them, that deep,
Yeah,
sometimes that deep, because they give off such an aura of metal. You can
yes,
hit
yeah,
them
yeah.
from a foot away,
And
and
how
then you
deep
get
was that then?
uh, I would say maybe 7 inches
Seven
around
inches.
there.
Yeah. Oh well,
And
that's
I dug this a few years ago. We walked probably about 5 or 6 miles out into the woods looking for where we thought a home site
uh-huh.
was. We didn't find that home site, so we ended up going way around a different area, and we stumbled upon a home site we never heard of,
Oh,
and that's how we ended up finding it.
oh. Yeah. Okay. Carry on your finds. Come on, let's have some more finds.
Okay, this one here is see here. This one's probably 1940s. It's a lipstick
Oh
container.
yeah.
So this
Still
is
got the
actually
lipstick
the
in.
yeah. So let's see if I can
Oh
get these up
wow.
here where you can see them.
Yeah. Is there any information on that, Wayne, at all, or does it give you
This one has
name of
some
the
type of
company? Or
yeah. There's the name of a company. I don't know if I'll be able to read it or not because the coating is worn off it pretty good.
yeah,
They have almost like a brass color to them,
yeah,
but it's all like plated. You know, plated
yeah.
falls off.
You're
That's
not going
how
to
that.
try it then.
Now I don't think I'll be able to see it. As you can see, most of it is pretty well worn off.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's one that
So,
you got
what
to
would you
put under
say?
the
Is it
jeweler's loop.
early 20th century?
Yeah, maybe 30s or 40s,
Yeah,
could even
19th,
be
30s or
50s.
40s. Yeah.
And this one I found at a playground. This is a silver ring.
Ooh,
See
yes.
if I can get this up closer.
Is there
I think
what's in the middle?
the stone I think is fake. It's almost like a see-through
Probably. Do
purple
you think it might be
stone.
glass or something, or see-through
Yeah,
glass, or maybe, or
yeah.
something like? Because they usually put that on silver. It just depends, really, I suppose. And have you got any hallmarks inside?
Yeah. This one here is. Let me put the light on it here. 925.
Yeah, so it's just your silver, 925.
Right.
Ah, still nice. Still nice to
Yep.
find, isn't it? Give it a silver, you know.
Yep. And usually during the winter time, some of us we get the urge to metal detect, and the only place that's not frozen is usually the beaches. So on the beach,
Ah, you were not far from the beach then, Wayne.
well, I'm probably about 2.5 hour drive.
Oh,
The
okay.
reason why I don't go there very often is because you drive down there, they charge you $15 to park, and then you come away with 3 or 4 pennies that you dig out of the sand. So it's a
You're
lose situation.
joking.
The only good thing I've ever got from that was a 14 karat gold earring.
Yeah, well, I suppose it's better than nothing, isn't it? But I mean, how many
Right.
times have you been down there? You know, and is it
I
stamped
lost
then?
count.
Yeah, lost count.
That
Yeah.
one, yeah, that one says 14K, but I don't think I could get in close enough because it's
No,
like
no, you probably it's
right
too
on the,
small.
it's right on the actual
Yeah.
edge of the
And
hook.
what number did that read at your machine then, Wayne?
That one I was using the 80 gold at the time, and it rang up a 45, which is the same as a pop tab or a foil.
Oh, I see.
Yep.
So yeah, because it's quite a dainty little thing, isn't it? Thin little thing
Right.
that It's when it's a bit more solid. Have you got any gold rings to show at all?
I got a gold ring, but it's buried in my bin. See, what happens is we get this stuff, we hold on to it for a while, and then we donate it to like the historical societies and
Oh,
stuff.
I see. I see.
Because I can't hold on to it forever. I mean, what's it going to
No,
do? Just rot on the
sit
shelf?
there. Yeah,
If someone
yeah.
else
That's
can
true.
enjoy
That's
it,
true.
maybe learn from it, or maybe even inspire someone about
Yeah,
history, why not? Now,
yeah.
the last thing I have to show you is actually pretty interesting because I've not found just one, but I've found two of them. And they directly, whoops. All right, so I'll probably have to get one up close to the camera first just to see if you can see it or not. The light might overpower it.
Oh, yeah, you get it in your side. That's it. Just lower down your screen. That's about right. Yeah, I don't know if you can see, but tilt it up to the light, maybe.
Whoop.
Yeah, this is a problem, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Well, maybe I can
What's
lower
what's
the.
on it then? What's on it?
All right, I'll tell you. It's a 97. It's the 97th Regiment of Foot. It's our Queen's own, is what it says on it. And it was
Oh,
a troop of Germans that fought for England's Queen, and they were active during
never knew that.
1806 to 180
Wow.
to 1816. They fought during the Battle of Minorca, as well as the War of 1812. So
Gee whiz.
I found two of those in a cornfield, and it took me forever to figure out what they were because
Yes.
originally in the let's see here in the mid to late 1700s they were the 96th Regiment of Foot, but they retired it and reformed it as an all German troop for the Queen.
Right. Yeah. All
So
right. Well, it's
yeah, so
surprising what you find out there and what history you come up with. Really, I think when you start investigating history on your things that you found, it brings it to life, doesn't it? Really, brings
it
it to life.
does. And then you've
You know.
always got that nagging question: how did that end up where I
Oh, I
found it?
know.
You know.
I've had some of the car badges in the middle of a field, and you think, how did that get there?
Yep.
You know. Huh? That's, and I think, well, there's no access there, apart from a big gate, and it's all pretty muddy. I suppose it might have been in summertime, and there might have been a few family members. I don't know, but yeah, it's surprising how so many different artifacts are found in the middle of the field that don't really belong there. But
Yeah. There's a lot of
what
random stuff we find out in the middle of nowhere.
and then you've got to obviously play detective every time you find something. So
Yeah.
and
If it
then
doesn't have some type of writing on it or something, then it's
difficult, isn't it?
you,
It's
you
difficult.
you can look it up on the internet for
Oh
like a
yeah,
general
yeah, yeah, yeah.
idea, and then you
Yeah.
can get kind of close examples. If you hold on 1 second, I actually got one more thing.
Okay, good. Yeah, you're all right. Go for it. Wayne's gonna find another object.
All right. Now I had this one close because it's something that's very cool to me.
Okay.
Now you've heard obviously of a Spanish real.
Oh yes.
Now I've never dug a Spanish real coin, but I dug a Spanish real patriotic button. Now this
That's
one
nice.
here, let's see if I can get my act together here. Everything is in reverse. That's why it's so difficult for me to.
Yeah, it's quite hard to make out, but we got some sort of design there.
Well, you can see the columns with the crown in the middle.
You can just see a little bit, yes.
Yeah.
But
so
it's still a bit dark there. Have you got a light above you then, Wayne?
I've got a light on my camera and a light off to the side. It's a flexible one, so I mean I can
try to adjust it and see if we can see it. Because I've got all the lights, very similar to I've got a light that's in front of me. Look.
Oh, there we go. You can see the crown.
Oh yeah, you can just about see it. Bring it closer. That's it. Bring that closer now, and then get a bit of light in the back. See, anybody can make it out.
Yeah, I'm trying not to.
Yeah, no, that's it. That's we can see some of it at least.
Yeah,
not very clear.
Yeah,
we'll have to get some. Yeah. So how old is that then?
That one there is. Let's see here. Let me look on my phone. I think I have a screenshot of it saved. So.
Okay.
Let's see here. Because it was a really unique button. I actually don't have a screenshot. I know it's mid 1700s. It was patriotic. Patriotic button. Kind of like you'd find a presidential, like a token or something. There's something on that line, but it was designed after the real.
Still, so it's definitely Spanish, at least.
It is, and it's.
Does he call it Mexican? I don't know which one. What did he call it then?
I don't know. We just say Spanish because that's what most of the books tell us the reals are. So
yes.
It's definitely mid 1700s. So it was pretty interesting to find it.
Yeah.
It.
What kind of history do you have around where you are then, more or less? Close to where you live. Oh, by the way, where are you exactly?
I'm from actually New Hampshire, USA.
Oh, right, New Hampshire.
So I'm not far from the coast. We have a small piece of shore, and then above us is Maine, and below us is Massachusetts.
All right, so that's where you are. So yeah, so history-wise, firstly, is it the oldest thing, that button in the 17th century that you found, or have you anything a bit older than that, or that is about it?
I think that either that or I don't know how well this will show up, and I would tell you what it is, but you'll probably know it right away when you see it. All right, let's see if we can get it over here.
Oh yeah, it's probably George III half penny. Turn it around. You've got the tail side. Turn it around. So there's any detail on the other side.
There's a little bit. There's a profile. There's a 2 by the head.
Yeah, because I can tell which way the head's face. That's what I need to know. I can't see it really. Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh boy!
Yeah, I know. It seems the more I turn it, the worse it gets.
It's probably George II or George III.
Yeah, I think
so around about 18th century, early 18th century, half penny.
Yeah, I think it's over here.
I do find a lot of George III. He reigned for a long time, that guy.
Yeah, we're behind him.
He was a nice portly guy.
He
went to a lot of parties where I got to tell you, he ate well wherever he went.
All right, let's see if I can shield that.
Yes. I've got the other side of that now. It's
either 1738 or 1728.
1738. That'll be, I think, George I or George II, I think.
All right, Let me see if I can. There's a 2 above the head. It's really hard to
Yeah,
see.
George II. It's George II.
Yeah, so it took
Perfect.
me a while to get, the front side
That's good.
with the
That's good
profile.
over there.
You know
Finding
what I
that.
did? Toothpick gently. That's the only thing I do to them. And then once I've got enough to see what they are, I take a little bit of petroleum jelly and
Uh-huh.
I put it on it just to
And it gives it
keep
a
them
bit.
from
Yeah,
drying
yeah.
out. But
I know I'm not going to upset you, but I have a bucket load, mate.
no, you guys got different history over there. It's a different story.
I mean, George III. I mean, oh gee whiz, I must have got a bucket load of partly worns. And have you ever seen a cartwheel penny?
Not in person, but I've seen pictures of it.
I got 43 here,
How do you really? Wow.
maybe 45, and that's without the ones that have gone into the bucket, one that's clear enough to see. Uh, it's reasonable, I suppose. I don't know if you can see. Hang on, let's have a look here. Let's just turn that one down or see something, can't we? We can see something, but
Oh yeah.
um, yeah, that's a kind of penny of George III, but it's the cartwheel pennies that we want to. Hang on, is that a bit more clearer? It's not bad. Wait,
Well, that one you can see the profile better.
yeah, just a little bit better, just a
Yep.
little bit better. Oh, I mean that's really good condition. That is. Look at that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
George III. It was a later penny.
Yep.
The cartwheel pennies had a big rim on, and they only did
Oh
them in
okay.
1797. Cartwheel pennies. I'll show you in a minute. Got a
Yep.
massive rim around them, and they only did, like I said, 1797. But this is a lot later. I don't know if you can see the date there. It's below his head. Can you see
Yep.
it?
Yep. I sure can.
And I'll show you the side. So this is what class is in reasonably good condition to what we find.
Oh yeah, you can see all the lettering. I mean, some of them
Yeah.
we get them. They're so
I
so
know,
worn
I
down that
know,
you
I
can
know.
bear. Sometimes you have to take the flashlight and go off the edge of them just
Yeah, you 3-1-0, you know. 3-1-0. Can you imagine that?
I can't. Oh yep. Yep. Facing right.
Yeah, George III. That's a
Yep.
cartwheel penny. Can you see the big rim?
Oh yeah. Yep. Definitely. It's got
Yeah.
a wide rim around it.
Hey, and this blows your head off on a machine.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, on the Nox, on the Equinox, it's 32, 31. Easy, easy.
Right.
I always, as soon as I get that number out, I think, oh, what? That's got to be a cartwheel penny or something, a large copper thing,
Yep.
And the other side is very similar type of thing, isn't it?
Right.
And I
Oh
think
yeah.
the data's by my fingers. I'm not really sure about it. But yeah, they only made them in 1797 anyway. So, I've got a stack of them here. Stack of them. What's that one? Similar. Half pennies. And then they did the Irish one, which got a harp on. And
Oh yep.
now these are the ones probably you've got. And I'm trying to find a clearer one so that to tell you a little story about this in a minute, because this is a fascinating story I'm going to tell you in a minute. You can that's a bit black, but still, probably just about see that, won't you?
Oh yep. Yep. I can
George
see the
III. Yeah,
profile.
yeah. And well, these are like I said, these are like 1806,
Right.
1807. Okay, and then George III goes back a bit further than that, a bit younger, and this is like the younger George III. I think I've got in there.
Oh yeah.
So
That's
the
cool.
story behind that is that I was going like a footpath leading over a stream,
Yep.
and just before the footpath, about 20 foot away, I got this really cracking signal. I dug it out, and one of these came out. I thought, oh yeah, half penny, George has heard you, and I back over, bang bang. Oh, another one. Dug another one out. Bang bang. Dug another one out. I thought, hang on. So as I dug the plug out, I could see the coin spillage.
Yep.
I'm going, whoo, wow. And I was digging 2 coins, just picking 2 coins and 3 coins up at a time. And I'm going like that,
Right.
and going like that, and going back,
Wow.
but still more and more spilling out of the sides. It was an awesome feeling.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely awesome feeling.
I've only had
I
2
ended up with,
situations like that, but they weren't with coins. One was with pewter buttons. I dug 12 of them in the same spot, And then on a separate occasion, I dug 11 spoons in this field that we had been through many times.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of
Oh.
ammunition shells all
Oh,
over
yeah,
the
yeah.
place.
In between it
And,
all, yeah,
and it
yeah.
had that same sound. So that's
Yes,
how we
yes.
missed it. And I just
Yeah.
happened to dig one up,
The
and
band.
then we started seeing more in the hole.
Yeah, yeah,
So I
yeah.
think
Well,
one of the younger people was told, "It's your turn to wash the dishes," and they went and threw them.
well, I had 24 of those out of one hole, and George the Third sixpence was the last one that came out.
Right,
It's on my channel. It's on my video.
right,
But when I thought that was good, and I'm sort of really chuffed, I'd found what we call a hoard, fantastic, great, great, great. I moved along onto the footpath further down, and I found a George, and this is rare in England, I don't know where else, but rare for me. George the First shilling,
Oh wow! So that's got to be
1724, I
what
think it
be?
was 1723.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Shilling. I mean,
because King George II is usually 1730 to
yeah,
1760.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
the first one's
He
got to
was about
be
17. Yeah, well, yeah, I think it was 1723 was
wow.
George the First, and I think I've only found in my detecting period 2 or 3 coins, maybe 2 coins of George the First, because it's very rare for us. Having said that,
Right,
we can never tell we found a George the Third, George the Second, George the Third, because all the copper coins, when they're worn, you just don't really know unless they've got some really profile. Like I said, you got profile
right.
left and right, because they alternate. You know why? Obviously, you know how you can tell the different kings because they alternate
Yep.
from year to year. They alternate the profile, so you can have an idea of where how far back it goes back. So yeah, that was my exciting. I mean, I've had many exciting times of finding all sorts of things, but yeah. So the history around where you are, then. I mean, is it just more or less 18th century then? Or?
A lot of it is goes back to early 1700s. Most of the towns around here were they tried to settle them in the early 1700s.
Oh, right.
A
Yeah,
lot of
yeah,
them
yeah.
got chased out by the Indians, and
Oh,
then
yeah.
they came
Oh,
back
right.
around 1730, 1740. Like the
Uh-huh.
town that I live in right now, they tried to settle in the 1720s, and the Indians got the best of them, and they ended up having to leave, and they came back some 20 years later to
Oh, I
settle.
see.
Yeah, because
All
it was that
right.
bad, But where I'm at, I'm surrounded by like 100 acres of woods, so
Oh,
I'm
I
out in the middle
see.
of nowhere.
Yeah.
Yep.
How do you feel? Do you feel that's great, or do you feel sometimes on your lonesome?
I actually like it. The busy in town stuff. I lived in the city for probably about 8 or 10 years, and then I moved to a quieter town. Maybe
Yeah,
as I'm
yeah,
getting
yeah.
older, the only noise I want to hear is the beeps in my earphones.
Yeah, that's true, isn't it? Anyway, tell us a little bit about stealth detectors. Then, I mean, what's their updates? What they find? How many people have joined the group, and
Well,
how do you meet up? When do you meet up, and that kind of thing.
they had quite a few members over the course of times. Some people just got stuff busy with life. They've got families and kids
Yeah.
that are going to be going off to college. So the run of the mill thing for us is normally if somebody's a member and they're digging, they usually have to travel a couple hours just to where we meet. Then we have to
Oh,
drive to our area, hike several miles, you know, detect, and then
oh,
by the time they come back, they still have a couple-hour drive home.
drive.
So a lot of them just don't have the free time.
That's true.
So,
Very time consuming. Isn't it? I mean, we're quite lucky because, of course, quite a lot of my farm is just 5 minutes away.
oh,
And, I mean, I've 5 minutes away found, two Bronze Age axe heads. Amazing, really amazing. One was a votive offering. Can you imagine that? And I've looked at it 4,000 years old. I mean, you just can't sort of like think that thing, can you? Four
oh yeah,
thousand years old votive offering. Somebody was planting that in the ground and thinking, to appease the gods or to create happiness and good luck. I'll put this in the ground for our gods. And four
right.
thousand years later, I came along and found it with my metal detector. I mean, it's mind blowing, isn't it? Really, I think mind blowing.
Oh yeah, and
And
you think in maybe another 600 or 700 years, somebody will be out there with a detector, and they're gonna find a cell phone and go, "Oh wow, look at that!"
yeah. Hey, Wayne, I found one of the old ones right next to a
Right?
wall. The real big ones, the big. I'm
Oh
thinking,
yeah,
well, this is a museum piece.
yeah. When I was a kid, my dad had one where you had to pull the antenna up, one of the
Yeah,
real old ones.
yeah, a
You
real
could
big
plug it
thing.
into
Yeah,
your car
yeah.
if you needed to, and
Can you imagine what we're looking at now? Things that
oh,
we find now, even we're finding that even the pennies, the modern pennies that we can spend today in England,
yep,
1970s and 1980s 2 pences, we can still spend them. But that's
yep,
40-year-old coins and
oh yeah,
50-year-old coins, and you think, oh, gee, we've been in the ground waiting all that time to be dug up so we can go spend it in the local
right.
shop, you know. Yeah. So, what about coins then? What kind of type of coins you been getting then?
Lately, mostly just U.S. large cents. Over the last couple of years, I've had a couple of times where I've dug a trime, the 3 cent silver
Oh yeah,
nickel,
yeah, 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 yeah.
and I've gotten a few seeded half dimes and
Uh huh.
seeded dimes.
Uh huh.
Uh, I got a couple standing Liberty coins. I haven't found any walking Liberty yet. I'm still looking for the Real. That's like the one
Oh,
thing I've
oh, yeah,
always
yeah, yeah,
wanted,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
Well, I know a couple of
just to find.
USA
But
friends have found some reals.
oh yes, I've seen my friends seem to dig them all around me,
Yeah,
But I
yeah.
find
Well,
most of the stuff that they're after, so it's kind of interesting.
hey, can you imagine? Can you imagine if we found one in England? Would
Yeah.
that be a shocker or what?
Oh
Hey.
yeah, that sure would. Especially how most of them came across the pond over here.
You know, the biggest shock I had is when I had Gypsy Jewel on Michelle Gypsy Jewel. She was on one of my guest lists, and she found a Roman coin. Where
Oh
she
wow.
was, Roman coin.
Yeah.
Anyway, on our next update, she's going to bring it and show it because she couldn't find it that day. She had to move house and she's going to dig it out and show us on an update. I don't know when that's going to be, but
Right. Well,
that'll be
I
interesting.
in my bucket of coins somewhere, I have 4 or 5 Roman coins, but I did not dig them. What happened was, as a fan had sent some that were kind of corroded and beat up, and they sent us a pile of them because we don't find those things over here.
No,
And so we messed around, and some of them you can tell a little bit on them, but they're really beat up. But it's such a cool piece of history.
oh yeah, yeah. You're
Hi,
talking. I
Mud
mean, there,
Swat.
is there somebody else on? Is there? We've got oh yeah, mud swat on, and we've got a mate of mine called Ricky. Ricky Two Rivers, my mate. There, how you doing, pal? You all right?
Hi,
Yeah, he's
Ricky.
one
Hi,
of my
Iron
best
Digging.
mates. Yeah, some of yours there digging there. Yeah, so there's one or two there that from we could. I were expecting a few more from your clan, but obviously they're busy because what's the time over where you are then now?
Right now it's about almost 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Woo.
So a lot of
It's
us, most of the crew are out getting all the stuff ready because right now we're trying to get rid of the winter time so we can start plotting our season.
Yes, and I
What
suppose it's hard to
areas we
get
want
out,
to
isn't it?
go,
In
and
this weather, it's hard to actually get out, and
it
and
is. I mean, I've hiked out to a few spots and found some cellar holes and stuff, but the ground's still solid, so I'm not going to carry
ooh,
all my stuff out. And we
no,
did one year
no,
where we dug through the frozen ground. It was
yeah,
pretty brutal.
yeah. I
I
think
mean,
I've
we
done it a
found a
couple
few
of times.
cool things, some thimbles and harmonica reeds and
Ah,
all kinds of stuff like that. But I'm not digging through the ice. I'm getting too old for
no,
that.
it's a bit. Yeah, I mean, I think I went out once when I was really really keen, and I think it was frozen for about 3 inches below, and I'm thinking, no, I don't want to be doing this really in freezing cold weather during a winter's day. But like I
Right.
said, we're quite lucky. We've had I think we've had a mild winter, and we're talking now. We've probably got about another month of winter, maybe another month left. I mean, yesterday it was absolutely gale force winds and
Oh
hail,
yeah.
and now it was a beautiful day today, absolutely beautiful, calm and everything else. So the weather's been brilliant. So I'm hoping to get out. I'm testing out a new machine at the moment. I don't know if you've seen it, but I'm testing out one of those Desachi machine
Oh
detectors.
yeah. I haven't had a chance to watch the video, but I saw that you
Yeah,
put up a
yeah,
video
yeah.
about it.
It all happened because one of my mates we're going out detecting, and he was using one,
Right.
And he was finding a lot of coins, and now I've hardly found anything. I thought, oh, it's just a fluke. It's one of those days, you know. Went on
Yep.
another field and found a lot more coins than me again, and more artifacts than me. And I thought, oh, it's another fluke. I went on another field, which was quite barren. I really blasted it. And
Right.
he had 15 coins out in this one and a hammered coin. I'm going, there's got to be
Wow.
something to this. There's got to be something to this machine. So I thought, okay, I bought one. So I bought one, and then I thought, like anything else, you got to try it out. You've got to understand it before you make any comment.
Yep.
And of course, what you haven't seen, as I went out on its first maiden voyage, and the video's tomorrow, Wayne.
Okay, well, don't give me no spoilers.
I'm not telling you, but it's the letter G.
Okay.
I was absolutely shocked and in awe about it. Anyway, that's tomorrow. UK time, 8 p.m. My part one of the Tesache MDT 8000 maiden voyage. I took it on a field where I'd absolutely spent 3 months blasting it. I did. And so, you know, that video will tell you what I had out on that field. So I can't tell you anymore because I don't want to ruin the excitement.
The fields and areas that have been hunted heavily, a lot of people just like, there's not going to be much probability of find stuff. I like it because not only is it harder to find stuff, but it really gives you a chance to connect with your machine and listen, you know, like a lot of times. Yeah, because I'll listen for the tone. In certain tones, I'll know enough to look down at the display. Other tones, I keep walking.
Yeah. And of course, there's less junk, Wayne, because we pulled it out.
I still dig it because I couldn't find it in my bucket.
Oh, yeah, you still got to dig it.
The sound of a pop can.
Yeah.
Well, I got a heel plate with a heart in it.
Oh.
It's early 1900s. It's still shiny, but it was under the leaves. Leaves that I didn't have to dig it. I kicked the leaves. And it was right there. So
yeah.
So sometimes I go after those signals that most people are like, yuck. But sometimes,
you just never know, do you?
I'd rather dig it, and if it's junk, I'll carry it away and throw it away at home and clean up the ground at the same time.
What's it like then for getting permission out there? When you knock on somebody's door and say, "Hey, can I go detecting?" Or how does it work then over there?
Well, you can door knock. A lot of it is who you know. Like a lot of the people that I dig with now, they've been detecting longer than me. They've built up contacts that own vast areas of land and stuff, and we take turns. All right, this week if you can find us a permission. If not, we get a couple on the back burner. And
that's the way. Yes.
Because
I'm so lucky. I mean, I've got about just where I live. I must have about 10 farms.
Right.
And the big fields, and I usually stick to one field at a time. I like detecting, and you probably don't have this where you are, but I like detecting the footpaths.
Yep.
So obviously that's where people have walked for centuries before, and from all whether they're going to church, whether they're going to work, whether they're going to town shopping, whatever they're doing, they walk on this because in going back in time, not everybody had a card or transport.
The footpaths and where they planted gardens. I found my first seeded halftime in the rhubarb patch in my mom's yard, because it turns out my stepfather's family owned that property since the early 1800s.
Wow,
and I was just digging in mom's yard just for fun, and I pulled out a seeded halftime, and I was like, now I've got to come back here and I've got to go through the whole yard. And, luckily it's my mom, so anytime I want, I can show up.
Yeah. She won't. She doesn't mind.
Now she might give me a couple of chores to do here and there if she needs help with something, but that's mom. You got to do it.
That's mom's for you. Yes. Well, I'm glad to say that my mom's still alive and she still gives me a few chores, which I prefer. That's okay.
Yeah,
still about.
I agree.
I don't know, but my mom's. I don't know if you know, but my mom's Italian. So
no kidding.
I'm half Italian and half Yorkshire.
Oh, okay.
But my mum, she's a strong character. My mum, she came over from Italy at 19, and met my father over here. And next thing you know, we're, she's settling down here. but it's a bit of a kind of. She comes from like a village in a small little village, so
Right.
it's a different world, different
Yeah.
world at that time,
Yep. I can
coming out
imagine.
of it, it's just so. And then coming to England with, I mean, the first thing that hit her is the weather. That was the first thing, and obviously the culture's totally different, and then
Right.
the food's different. Yorkshire
Yep.
pudding, roast beef, what's that, and but she became, a brilliant cook, and she made some her own specialities, and you might want to try this. I don't know if you do. I don't know if you've had Yorkshire pudding. Have you ever had Yorkshire pudding?
Nope. That I
Get your book,
haven't.
get the menu out. It's a savoury dish. You have to look it up, Wayne.
Yeah, I'll
Yorkshire
have to
pudding,
look
but
it up. And,
my mum puts her own mix in it. What she does, because I think it's flour, eggs, pepper, and salt, but she puts what we call oregano in.
oh yes. Yep.
And you can't believe what the difference is there. It's just immense. Really, really brilliant. It gives it a really nice taste. And she had like a kind of Italian tinge to quite a lot of English food, And I just thought, it's just great, is this, I don't know what it is.
Actually, the last time I went to visit my mom, just to check on her because I hadn't heard from her in a while, and she's like, "Oh well, I made my meatloaf that you love," and she did, and it was still a hit just as big as 30
Oh,
years
yeah.
ago.
Oh,
It's just some things
just like that,
moms
aren't
can cook.
they? Exactly. That's one thing you're going to miss about your mum. But how was your mum then?
Let's see here. She was born in, 1953.
Oh,
So she's getting closer to 70,
oh. Mm-hmm.
and
Right, okay.
I'm getting close to 50.
Oh, you young pup. My mum's 87.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, and I'm a bit older than 50, mate, and I'm not going to tell you what. You've got the iron out. Okay, well, we'll finish up on, is there any, well, obviously you've said that you can't really do much because of the weather. When do you think you're going to be back out then? When do you think, when the actual weather change then for the snow to go away and the ice go away then?
Well, I'm hoping in a week or two. By then, everything should be melted. A lot of people say in New England we've still got several weeks to go, but 3 days ago it was 50, 60 degrees Fahrenheit, and now we're 19 degrees Fahrenheit with 8 inches of snow. So the temperatures are slowly appearing higher now and then.
Yeah.
I have a feeling it'll be a week or two. And
you think it's going to be an early spring?
I hope so. Winter's the toughest time when you metal detect.
Yeah.
We get that hard frozen ground. I've literally got everything packed and ready. All I have to do is put batteries in and go out the door. I've been waiting right to get out there. Just, because it's like a mixed bag, What will I go out and find? Or what cool scenery will I see?
Excitement, isn't it?
Or how, because like every cellar hole or home site that we go to, they're all built different. They have different land setups. And a lot of them are just fascinating to see where the people lived, how they lived. Did they farm this land?
I'll tell you what might be exciting for you, Wayne, and that's to buy a drone, Get a drone.
I've been thinking about it, wildlife photography, so I pretty much broke the bank on camera stuff for a while.
It gives them fantastic shots. I mean, I'm up in the sky and I can go as far as I want to just looking. I don't know if you've ever seen some of my videos, but I've got at the beginning, I've got the high shots where I'm detecting, and I just put in text, I'm detecting here. And you just see all these fields,
I mean, I thought about it. It would be interesting, but the area that I live, you got to worry about the bald eagles because they will snatch your drone.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, we got a lot of them around here. I do most of my wildlife photography on those, so I've got a whole YouTube channel about photography, metal detecting, all that stuff.
Get that on my channel then. Send me the link.
Okay.
Send me the link, man, because I mean, I don't know if you know, but my channel is not just about treasure hunting. I've got 7 different categories, listings now. Okay. And the bottom listing is any other interesting subjects.
Okay.
So I've got photographers, people interested in boxing, fishing, golfing. So I can add you to that.
Okay.
As a photographer. And then on my Facebook, Wayne, you can put on some of your pictures, okay?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember how to do this. See, I was born before Google, so some of this technology
Hey,
is
how
tough to
well?
get used to, you know.
Oh, I know it. We have to get used to all that, mate. Uh, what we can do then now is you can
There we
pass
go.
me all. Yeah, pass me all the link before. We'll wrap up for the moment, and
Okay.
we'll give it an update sometime in when you start detecting in a couple of months' time. Just let me know how you're doing and what find you've got together as a collection, and then we can do another update. What do you think about that?
Yeah, sure. That sounds good. Just
Sounds
let me know
good.
ahead of time because
Yeah,
things will
well,
be
yeah,
pretty
yeah.
busy
Well, it's a
once
matter of what
digging
you're finding
starts.
over there. Some interesting finds you guys collect, and get together and take some snaps and photographs, or let us know. Say, hey, I've got some cool stuff we found. Blah blah blah. Let's make a podcast and show because you've got to realize it's an education for people in my country to see other
Right.
countries' artifacts that
Right. And I
don't
think the
exist in
hardest
our
part
country.
about it is holding it up to the camera so you can
Yes,
view
it is.
it.
Yes. I wonder if you take a photograph. Would that be better? Do you know what I mean?
I
Having a
may
photo actual on the camera, I don't know. We'll have to think of a better way of doing this,
It's pretty
holding up.
time consuming. I mean, I have the camera equipment to take the high resolution shots of everything, but it's a lot of work. I got a lot of stuff to. I'm like
Mm,
half metal detecting, half wildlife photography, so I'm
mm.
always like 1 foot this way, 1 foot that way. I'm trying to balance it both because I really enjoy them both. Like,
Yes.
when I'm not detecting during the week,
You've
I'll go
got
out
to
my
bring your camera while you're
camera
detecting, Wayne.
and I'll be out in the kayak paddling around taking pictures of the
Ah,
wildlife. That's
yeah, brilliant,
it's a
mate.
lot of fun.
Um, what we need to do, just say hello to a few people. I don't know on your
Oh,
listings.
sure.
Anybody you know?
Uh,
Is the 717th detectors. Are you guys?
it,
We've got. Is anybody else you know?
uh,
Hoopers Mayhem. They're from Australia. Oh, you guys, go blimey,
right.
what time is where you are? And we've got Jay Steele's
Jay
Adventures
Steele.
and Variety. Does he know you?
No, some of the people on here I don't know, but you know,
Yeah.
I'm a
Oh well,
sociable
thanks guys
person
for
and
coming on. We appreciate you coming on and checking us out and see what we're
definitely.
doing. Hope you're finding it interesting. But we're going to wrap it up now, and
Okay.
we'll we'll reassess in a couple of months' time, maybe, when you give us an update on how you're doing, pal.
Yeah, I got to get some boots on the ground and some finds in the pouch first.
Yes, yes. Take care. It's been brilliant having you, pal,
Excellent. Thank you for
and
having me.
interesting. And you take care for now, and we'll see you another time.
All right, sounds good, John.
Bye for now, pal. Bye.
Bye bye.